To remove the fireplace, there's two screws. There's one on this side, and there's one on this side that have to come out. And then this fireplace front will lift straight up and off. And I'll show you what I had to do to this fireplace face, because there's so many miles on it that it's been bouncing up and down and vibrating as the rig goes down the road. And it actually wore through the clips that hold the glass piece onto the fireplace frame. I had to make these custom aluminum pieces and epoxied them onto the old brackets to be able to utilize this again, or else it wouldn't have stayed in place. So right here you can see the new aluminum pieces that are epoxied on with a new groove, because the old metal ones, which are like this down here, they just wound up wearing through and tearing right off. I also added this aluminum strip across the bottom here for that glass to sit on, and you can see where it's been wearing a little bit right here from that thing bouncing up and down on here. So with the addition of this, the larger aluminum bracket, I'm hoping that it's going to last much longer. When you have this faceplate off, another thing you can do is come in here with a brush or a paintbrush and clean all the dust off of these faux little glass pieces here. Use a Microsoft cloth and clean the backside, and then also clean the inside and outside of your glass so you have a much clearer vision of your faux fire. The next step in removing this is removing the 4 screws that are in the corner. There's 2 on the right side, and there's 2 on the left side. And then you unplug it once you pull that out, and you are good to go. This is a subwoofer I put in here with our sound bar, which is mounted right here behind the TV. I'll put a link to that video where I put that in. So the next step is to remove this aluminum trim and remove this faceplate. It should come out pretty easy. It's just stapled on. I'm going to remove my black trim I put in on the top and the bottom, and the whole face of this should come right off. Alright, got this trim removed. This is the one that the glass rides on. Got the bottom trim removed. These are the spacers that were underneath this trim to put it at the right position to support that glass. That's all there is to it. Pry bar and a hammer and poof, just like that. I am going to change these pieces out. See how wobbly that is? That's what allows that fireplace to move when you're going down the road. But I'm probably going to take this out. I'm going to spin it 180 degrees. So when I put the screws back in for the fireplace, they're in fresh wood and not going back into the old holes. The fireplace is 36.5 clear, and this is 37.5. So I'm going to reduce the size of this opening by 1 inch, and hopefully that'll give the fireplace more support when traveling down the road. Quality Elkhart construction there. This box is 16¼ inches, so we'll go 16 3/8 to allow room for it to move around a little bit, because we have these screws up on top that we need to clear. Actually, that's the bottom, screws on the bottom. It should sit right on this right here. And this opening is 17 1/8. So I'm going to raise the firebox a little bit, but I'm going to check that first. Center. Pick it up. I think I like it up higher. I'm going to mount it up top, and I'm going to fill the bottom space in. The rough opening is going to be 36 1/4 wide, so I'm going to go 18 1/8 from my center line mark over, and that'll be where my new stud's going to go, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. And then 36 1/4. Actually, I don't like any of this framing, so it's all coming out. I'm gonna start over. And that's how you get her done. Important point, when you're doing this and you're cutting stuff off and little pieces of metal are flying around, make sure that you keep track of all those, because you don't want any of it getting underneath your slide and tearing up your nice floor. So pay special attention to that. Since that top header piece was short, I'm going to add a piece of material here which will make up for that short header, so I can cut it down and then have a solid contact between it and the side of the housing. So now the moment of truth. Sorry, I got the air conditioner going. It's really warm out here in California today. Crazy weather. That looks a lot better. And I got my 1/2 inch lip right here, which will screw down here. And then that'll hold the firebox up. Hopefully support it better. And we'll see how it goes from here. New framing is installed. Screwed across the bottom, into the side. Now to put the new face on it. This is the material that I used from Lowe's. It's called fluted wall panel. It's the darker brown. Well, I got a little ahead of myself. I got so wrapped up in putting this in that I forgot to turn the camera on. But this is where we're at. I have these pieces cut that go up here like this to overlap. I'm putting a little silicone underneath it, a couple nails in the grooves so you don't see the nails, and working my way across. Yes, I'm using high temp silicone because it's the only silicone I have, but I'm putting a little bit on there just to help hold it in place. And I probably won't use this anywhere else, so it is what it is. And plus it's fireplace, so high temp silicone will work good there. Fireplace, use that term loosely. The heating element. This stuff cuts pretty easy, by the way. I just used a skill saw. I don't have a table saw. It'd be nice if I did, but someday. It kind of makes a mess when you cut it up, but it worked really well. Getting closer. Next step is to put my metal strip here on the bottom that supports the glass, and then put the firebox back in. This aluminum piece here installed only carries the weight of the glass. So when you're going down the road and it's bouncing, it doesn't allow the glass brackets to start digging into the fireplace and get to the point where it breaks those tabs off. Had that happen once, don't want it to happen again. So next step is putting the fire, actually I'm going to vacuum everything out and then put the fireplace in. Put this back in, don't forget to plug it in. Like a glove. Gotta go get my dot drive. I'll be right back. I'm adding washers to these this time, with the rubber back on them, because the holes have gotten big from traveling down the road and that thing bouncing around. Hopefully it's flush enough that it won't affect the glass. I think it looks pretty good. I got a little bonus trick for you here coming up too as soon as I get the glass screwed on. Don't forget the two screws, one in this corner and one in that corner, to put your glass plate back on. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, you ready for the big finish and the big reveal? Here we go. And before you ask, leave a comment down below. You're going to say, how come you didn't put storage behind the fireplace? Well, the reason being is there's enough weight on that side of the rig already, and I don't want to add any more storage or anything on that side of the rig, because that side of the rig is heavy enough and we don't need any extra storage. We are totally fine with what we have. Yes, and I added lights to it just to give it that pop. I think it looks really nice, looks really elegant, kind of sets the fireplace apart from the rest of the entertainment center here. Took me a little longer than I thought because I had to rebuild everything that was in there, as you saw. But hey, thanks for following us. If you're new to the channel, thanks for coming by and checking this out. If you're coming back, thanks for coming back. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. That really helps our channel out and helps us grow so that we can get you more content like this that is RVer friendly and just entertainment purposes. If you're just sitting around wondering what to watch, come on over to our channel and see what we're working on. But check out this video here. That's a video of the last time I redid the fireplace and installed the surround sound. So until next time, thanks for watching.